Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York, New Jersey,
Indianapolis,
California, Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa,
Massachusetts,
Georgia,
Canada,
our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesia,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Boulder Ridge,
Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening
to
my
Well, welcome, friends. We're so excited to welcome you to our show tonight, to Mike DVC Points Community Hall. And tonight is game night. It's Forced Choices, everybody. It's where we decide if we're going to fix it up or tear it up or talk it up about. Tonight, the topic is resort transportation. So if you could help us out by hitting like, subscribe, share, all the buttons, you know where they are. If you will hit them so that everybody else can start playing games with us too, that would be great. And tonight, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the DVC Rental Store. They provide such great opportunities for us when we need to rent our points. We just call them up and they take care of business. And guess what? If you live in the world of always borrowing like I do, just call them up and say, hey, I need some points. I want to add an extra 2 days to my trip and I am out. And you know what? They'll hook you right up. So they're great sponsors of ours and we really appreciate them sponsoring season 8. And now it's time. It's time to play. All right, bring out the contestants on the show tonight. First, Nick.
Hey, Points family. Great to be here.
We are so glad you are here with us to play tonight. And I'm so excited for you to get to play Forced Choices with us because you're always playing on the side, on the comment side. So I'm excited for you to get to really share your opinions with us.
I got some.
And Dave
Hey
Kluver
there.
is here joining us tonight to share his opinions.
I'm going to win this time. I lost last time.
There really is no winning. I don't understand the winning part, but okay.
I slipped Gina 20. She's going to help me out.
And Sandy, the kind Canadian who never wants to tear things up.
I don't.
And so she is
I'm just happy to
here.
travel again, you know, like I don't care what it's like.
Exactly. Our happy Canadian friend who is just so kind. And so we're so glad to have you here with us tonight, Sandy, after your summer of exciting travel, which in the weeks to come, y'all stay tuned because Sandy has got lots to share about lots of exciting adventures she went on this summer. But first, it's game night. So we're going to fix it up, tear it up, or tear it down, or talk it up. And we're going to talk about 3 different resorts and 3 different areas and their transportation systems. So we're going to talk about, to start tonight, the Polynesian and your 3 options for transportation that we're using tonight from the Polynesian are the monorail, the boat, or you're hoofing it with your feet, walking away. So, starting with my friend Nick. Nick, what's your opinion tonight?
Ooh, it's always hard to go first, and you get me first each time tonight. So hang on, people. So, it's like choosing children, right? Because I really would love to talk up all 3 of these options. But if I have to put them in order, I'm going to go with monorail fix it up. And I really don't have a reason. I really want to be talk up too. But my talk up, I have to talk up. So monorail, I'm going to say fix up. Maybe it gets pretty busy. It's definitely pretty busy. Yeah. And at night, of course, it can be a little chaotic trying to get out of the park for monorail. So I guess I'll just put it as fix up because it's not perfect. For tear down, boat, the waits are a little long for me for boat. I'm just not really a boat dweller pretty much. I know, shocking, but but I went for tear up for boat. And then Steve and I love, cat in the background. Steve and I love to walk. We do. We don't like to be stuck anywhere with transportation. So having the option now to be able to walk directly there, although it's a long haul, to walk all the way from Magic Kingdom is pretty amazing. But also to be able to walk next door to TCC to grab the monorail is pretty awesome too.
Yeah. I don't know about you. I guess we can still be friends. I don't know. All right, Dave, what are you picking?
All right, so I'm going to go under some assumptions here, and hopefully that's going to work with this. But I'm going to start with Fix It Up. For me, Fix It Up is going to be the boat. So
Okay.
if I had to fix that one, I'd make the seating more comfortable. I'd make it newer, maybe new things to experience when you're on the boat. If you're sitting around, something to that effect with the boats would be my Fix It Up. Tear it down would be the walking to the park. And it's funny, somebody put in the comments already. You know those moving escalators that are flat in the airports? So I'm thinking we're going to put that down every so often to get you moving. They're going to be waterproof. Don't worry about that part. And we're going to get you on over there. We're going to get you to the park really quick.
Oh boy.
And then Talk It Up is where my assumptions are. I'm going to assume that they revamped the whole monorail system when they did the whole new Moana theme, and everything is perfect and brand new. And you can jump on and just go, and there's more seating and more room to get in. So that's my Talk It Up. I'm just going to assume it went that way with the monorail.
Okay.
Intriguing.
Intriguing. All right, Sandy, what you gonna do?
So I'm going to fix up the boats because I think that there's a little bit of like scheduling that can just be like
Okay.
improved upon. So as far as that, I think it's an easy fix. And I've got Lilo here trying to get some pets out of me as I'm talking. And then tear it down. I have to say the walkways are abysmal. They have to find a better way of getting us to and from the parks. Walking, especially along that route. Walking all the way around to go by the Grand Flow just is not feasible. It's like
Forever.
45 minutes to do that. So I don't know if there's a way that they can walk us the other way by the Contemporary, which might be a little bit faster. And then Talk It Up. I actually really love the monorails. I've always loved the monorails. I think that it is completely underrated as far as a mode of transportation.
It's a ride also.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say. It's like having a ride before a ride. And that's kind of the way I like the boats too. So that's my take on it. What about you, Marianne?
Well, oh man, this is a tough one. This is a tough
It
one.
is.
Because my Katie Lou would totally disagree with me. I'm thankful she's not watching the show tonight because she'd be in the comments yelling and screaming. But I'm going to fix up the monorail. I'm sorry. The last trip we were there in last summer in the monorail in the heat when there wasn't a lot of air in that monorail and it smelled like pee. And
I love the monorail pea smell.
I really hate the monorail
Why
pee
does it
smell.
The next new candle scent.
I
That's
just
right.
like really hate the monorail pee smell. And we had to wait forever to get on the monorail, and we were just field tripping on the monorail so that we could ride the monorail. Say we rode the monorail. We were not even using it as a transportation system, and we still waited 25 minutes for a monorail.
Wow.
And so to me, it's like there has got to be a better way. First of all, we got to have some new monorails that don't smell like pee, and where the doors don't, if you lean on them, pop open and you drop to your death, because you know that those doors have popped open when people have been on, when the monorail's been packed. And I'm just saying there are things to fix about
You're
the
such a
monorail.
Debbie Downer.
As much as my kid
Wah,
loves it.
wah.
Now, tearing up, I am definitely tearing up all of that walking, because for goodness gracious sake, after I walk in the park all day, the last thing I'm going to do is walk 10 miles around the Grand Flow to get back to the other side of the Poly,
Mhm.
because of the DVC is all the way on that other side. And so, nope, not happening, not going to do it. But boat ride, baby. I love me a good boat ride. I think the boat ride lines, even at closing time, are never as obnoxious and as long as the crowd at the monorail that makes me crazy because everybody thinks they need to ride the monorail. There's a lot more breeze and air, and people don't crowd you in the boat ride line. And when you get on the little zippy boat and you ride this little zippy boat and it goes to the Grand Flow and then it goes to the Poly, and it's just kind of fun, and you look for alligators, and it's kind of a nice adventure at the end of the night. I love a boat ride, but because we stay in DVC, you can also get on the big old ferry and ride it back, and it is a short walk from the TTC back to your room. So you not only have the one option for boats, but you have 2 boat options. So boat ride, baby. Boat ride.
That's right. So little sidebar. We think we have it bad with the monorails in Walt Disney World. And granted, sometimes they don't run on time and all the rest of it. When we were at Disneyland this year, they don't run it if it's over a certain temperature.
Wow.
Yep. No AC.
Could be worse. No AC.
Yeah.
No bueno.
All right, let's see what our community says. Let's see how many people agree with me. Come on, people, agree with me. The Facebook user, Steve, wants to talk up the monorail, fix the walking by installing a moving sidewalk, and
smart.
tear up the boats. Does he agree with any of you people? Did he agree with any of you?
Talk up the monorail. I think he agreed with me.
Is that a vote for Dave? All right. So, I think the moving walkway thing is a clever idea. Universal has it, don't they?
And make it covered.
Does it
you're gonna
Universal
go,
have
Have to be
it?
covered 'cause
Doesn't
of rain.
Universal have that as you go from the parking garage in? Don't they have moving walkways? It seems like they do. So come on, Disney. Come on. But yeah, that's also a free way to get there, and chances are good they're not going to do that. So Tommy says at the Poly, he's going to fix up the boats, tear it down for the walking because he already does enough of that, and he's going to talk up the monorail.
That was me exactly.
All right.
Good choices, Tommy.
There you go. And then who was next? Who's got a comment for us next? Andrew Darden. He only walks to the Magic Kingdom when he's staying at Bay Lake, and he only uses the boats to get to Magic Kingdom when staying at Wilderness Lodge. Smart thinking.
Yep.
Smart thinking. See, boat ride, baby. I'm going to count that as a vote for me.
I think you should.
Holly says she's going to fix up the monorail, talk up the boats, and tear down the walkways. That's definitely a vote for me. That's a vote for me.
Holly, I thought you were on my side.
So, and Dan says he would talk up the boats because he loves that ride over to the park. Definitely not walking, just too far. But I do like the fact that if it was crazy and I wanted to, I could walk. I agree. I'm glad they put that in. That is, I don't want that walkway to go away because on New Year's Eve, you might want that walkway.
Yeah.
Right. But on an average day, no way, dude. No way. And then let's fix up the monorails. They should be futuristic, not ancient. And they shouldn't smell like pee. So there you go. Judy's going to talk up the boats, fix up the monorails, and tear up the walkway. Yay!
I think everybody was on board with tearing up the walkway.
Yeah.
Except me.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
That's right.
That's right.
You all want it late at night.
You know what? Well,
Just
that's,
Or on the
there
way
is
there.
a thing when there's an hour-long line to get on the monorail and an hour-long line to get on a boat, having the option to walk. So you only walk as far as the Grand Flow and stop at Enchanted Rose for an hour and then walk the rest of the way if you can.
It's also nice to have if you're doing an off-park day and you want to go walk at night or it's nice out or you want to go to the Grand Flow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nice to have it for that.
Yep, I agree. Sneak a look at the construction of the new Poly Tower as you're walking by. So, yeah, I agree, that it's good to have it there. I'm just not sure that I love it. Oh, one more vote has come in last. Come in right under the wire. Kathy's husband loves boats, so she's going to talk those up. She's going to fix up the monorail, and she's going to tear up the walkway. I'm going to take all
Marianne.
these votes.
Absolutely.
I'm taking all of these votes tonight. Yes. So let's move on to our next resort. It's the Riviera. So your options are Skyliner, bus, or walk. Nick, what do you think?
It's my first home resort. I love me. Oh, okay, let's see. I'm going in order. Okay, so I'm fixing up. I'm gonna get in trouble with someone we know. I'm fixing up the bus system. I really wish there was an option to go to the monorail resorts for bus for like Epcot to the front entrance. Would be nice, but really the big deal is when in the summer was when we usually go and the Skyliner goes down for any kind of storm, like every day in the afternoon. They need to fix their bus system so they are much more responsive because it's bad. So they need to fix up the bus in terms of timeliness, especially when the Skyliner is down. Tear up walking, because where we walking, people, you know where you want to walk, but we don't have an option. So we got to tear up the walking because there is no option right now, unless you're talking to, Caribbean Beach, which is amazing. But in terms of going to the parks, there is no option. So I'm going tear down. And Skyliner, when it's working, it's magical, which it usually is.
All right,
I agree.
Dave.
All right, so I'm going to fix up the buses, kind of like he said. The biggest thing I think for the buses would be, and like you said, if you're waiting for them, something's not working. When they say what time the bus is going to be there, I've never had good things with that. So if they can get that on a better schedule or a better way with the GPS, I don't know what the deal is and how that works. So it would fix up the buses in that way. There's not a whole lot more I don't think you could possibly do. So that would be cool. A double-decker bus would be really cool and, different and exciting, I think. So maybe throw in one of those here and there. So we'll do that for the fix it up. So the tear it down, obviously, is definitely going to be the walking. There's really nowhere to go, like you said, unless you're going to build us a tunnel to Disney Springs. Otherwise, I'm not sure where you're going. So we could walk in circles, and that's pretty much about it. Talk it up, obviously, is the Skyliner because it's amazing. And I still remember the first time I went on there, I thought we were going to crash into the Skyliner in front of us coming in because it comes in so fast. It was crazy. And then we're up there, and I'm scared of heights, and I felt really good up there. And it was nice and breezy, and I had no issues, and I've never got stuck on one. Let's hope it stays that way. So I really, really, really love the Skyliner. And, it's funny how we had it so long ago in the back of the park. Remember, it went from one side of the park to the other, and now we really have it in full force. So if they can add some more, and I'd love to see one in the Animal Kingdom if that's even possible, but I'm really happy with them.
When you're landing, I love saying really loud, coming in hot.
Exactly.
It is. It's crazy.
It is fun, though, when that happens. And Sandy.
I think I'm in complete agreement with everybody, honestly. So fix it up would be the buses, just to have them running more regularly, especially when the Skyliner is going down. Tear it down would be walking, because there's nowhere to walk other than Caribbean Beach. So unless you're going over to Sebastian's, I don't know. Who knows? And then last but not least, I would say talk it up is obviously the Skyliner because it's awesome. So what about you, Marianne?
Well, I have a lot of issues. Okay. And my fix it up is actually the walking. I don't understand. I just don't understand why we can walk from Epcot Resorts to Hollywood Studios and to the International Gateway, and they did not make a way to walk from Riviera, which it's got to be doable, people. It's just got to be doable. So I don't understand. So my fix it up is actually walking. I want them to fix that up. And I'm sorry, it's time to tear up the buses and restart the whole thing again for Riviera, because that is just stupid. And it is the reason I won't stay there, because I'm sorry, I am not going to get stuck not being able to get to my hotel and wait for hours on a bus because of rain and lightning. And then my talk it up, I love the Skyliner. I think it is a ride in itself. It's kind of like the monorail. We've never stayed at Riviera, but boy, oh boy, do we love going to just riding. And we might be staying at Old Key West and purposely go to Hollywood Studios and ride over to the International Gateway on our Epcot day. Because I like entering at the International Gateway more so than I do at the front. Because you immediately get in and get to things. So I love that about the Skyliner. The only thing that I dislike about the Skyliner, obviously, is the weather issues. And one more thing. When I have done that game where we've been really, really, really early and riding the Skyliner, and we were staying at Boardwalk and we rode the Skyliner over at before rope drop and had to get off the Skyliner at the change station and walk down a hill by a road and get into line for 45 minutes to get back on the Skyliner at the change station, I believe there at Riviera, to go on to Hollywood Studios. I was beyond annoyed by that. Because 45 minutes, I know it's the busiest time of day and everybody is trying to get there, but there's got to be a better way to wait for that than beside that road that goes in between Riviera and Caribbean Beach, because that was actually a little bit scary. I didn't have anybody little, but if I had had a little person who was excited to go to the parks, that would scare me to stand there beside that road for that a significant amount of time. We waited 45 minutes that morning total to get back onto a gondola. So,
has anybody been on the Skyliner when the fireworks are going off? I heard that's awesome.
I think that would be very cool. No, we haven't done that yet.
I've heard that.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to make that happen. But let's see what our community says and see who votes with us. Amanda is going to fix up the buses and talk up that Skyliner and tear up walking. All right. I think 3 of you got votes for that. Steve is going to tear up walking because there is no walking. Talk up the skyline and fix the bus system. Yes, I did change my mind. He changed his mind.
HBOO stands for Honey Bunches of Oats, by the way.
And I assume that's you.
Yeah.
Hey, Tommy wants to fix up the bus, tear down walking, and talk up the Skyliner. Lots
Perfect.
of votes for the other people today. Holly Austin is going to talk up the Skyliner. She wishes there were more locations. I wish there were too. But lightning, darn it, lightning.
They may.
Fix up the buses and tear up the walkway to where? Caribbean Beach? Well, yeah, maybe. So Andrew is going to fix the buses, tear down the Skyliner.
Boo.
Woo, Andrew. And there's nowhere to walk unless you have a death wish. And don't forget, the Skyliner is going down for maintenance in a few weeks in January for some updates and changes. Ooh, that'll be interesting to see what happened, what changes there are.
They do that every year.
I figure it's just maintenance, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're probably not going to change anything. Sean says they need a walkway overpass to a new back entrance of Epcot by Germany, like an International Gateway East. Absolutely.
Cool.
They do. I think that would be really, really cool. There's got to be some other option besides the Skyliner that's fast and reasonable because of the weather issues the Skyliner has.
And I think the International Gateway is getting busier and busier as the years have gone by. It used to be like this little hidden gem secret, and now it's getting real busy. So the Skyliner is really going to change that. Yeah.
So
it's such a fast escape after fireworks.
Yes.
So
especially if you're at the beach club.
I was going to say, we've already talked about Andrew's death wish. About that. Sean, my 6-year-old's niece's favorite ride is the Skyliner. Yeah. Katie Tracy's is the monorail, but the Skyliner comes in a close second, I think. For
that could be a cheap, inexpensive trip.
You know what, people? If you just want to go have a resort-only stay, there's a lot of fun transportation options just to go and play transportation games. Yep. So Judy is going to talk up the Skyliner, fix the buses, and tear up the walkway to nowhere. And Kathy is going to talk up the bus. Excellent. And fix the Skyliner because there are some quirks and there's nowhere to walk. She's right. There is nowhere to walk. We knew that. We just put that in there for a little fun to see if anybody else would,
catching on,
have a little fun with us. So
I will say that you don't share buses. So that is a great thing about the buses at Riviera.
That is a positive. That is a positive that you don't share with other, because sometimes the Poly, if you're on a bus to Animal Kingdom, you're going to stop at Grand Flow and you might even stop at the Contemporary or Wilderness Lodge. You just never know. Depends on the day. So it can be quite the bus ride. But our last resort is the dreamiest resort in all of Walt Disney World.
So silly.
It's my favorite and yours, Saratoga Springs. So we're going to talk about taking the bus to all of those wonderful parks, taking the boat to the Make Me a Better Mommy Park, Disney Springs, or walking your feet to the Make Me a Better Mommy Park,
Marianne,
Disney
you should go
Springs.
first since it's your favorite resort.
Oh no, I'm going last. So Nick, what are you going to do there, buddy?
So I never stayed at the resort of Saratoga Springs. But I must say, now that they've done the remodel, I really do want to stay there because the rooms look gorgeous.
Oh, they're fantastic. Yeah,
And
they did a really nice job.
They're really nice.
And I mean, I'm a shopper and I'm a foodie, so I mean, come on, I got to go there soon. But let's see. I did so well in the last round, right?
It's the perfect resort only stay with lots of fun to be had.
That's right. Point conscious. So I went with Fix It Up Boats to Springs. Originally had that as Tear Down, but I changed my mind on that considering where it takes you. I think for the fixing up, I wish the boat launch was more centrally located within Saratoga Springs. And again, I've not stayed there, so I'm just making my guesses. To tear it down, man, like you said, they just need to start all over again with the bus system with DVC, but specifically Saratoga and OKW, because just the inner bus system, it takes forever. I just can't imagine. So for me, tear it up, buses. And talk it up, again, we love walking. And when we have been in Saratoga, we loved walking 2 and 4 and getting to enjoy the walk along the water and checking out all the Lewises. And it was wonderful. So we loved walking. It's just so lovely. So fix it up, boat, tear it up, darn that bus system, especially the internal system, and then talk it up. We love the walk.
There you go. See,
Pretty
there's
good.
lots to love. Lots to love. All right, Dave.
All right, I'm going to be nice, Marianne, just for you. So I'm going to start with Fix It Up.
Okay.
So this is tough because this is not putting this down in any way, but I'm going to say walking to Springs. Wait, never mind. I'm sorry. So I'd say Fix It Up. So, oh goodness.
It's like choosing between children.
The reason I was going to say walking to Springs was because I was going to say put another bridge so you're not walking so far where you come out to the side of the resort. But there is a 10-minute walk from the beginning of Saratoga Springs that gets you to Disney Springs. I mean, I think I timed it was like 11 minutes, which was fantastic. And it brings you out there by Boathouse or that, the bus loop entrance. So the part of me saying fix it is if you do take the long walk, it's a long walk. So if you put one more bridge where you can cross over, maybe, you can not have to do that long walk.
That'd be nice.
So getting that out of the way. Tearing down those buses. Oh my God. There in Old Key West, the last time I had issues, 5 buses went by before a bus came for Disney Springs and didn't make any sense to me. And that computer screen that tells you when the buses are coming, you might as well unplug it because it doesn't mean anything. So I would fix that for sure. A lot of buses come in there, but it's never the bus you want. It's every other bus but the one you need. So that drives me crazy. So anyway, that's that. Talk it up. I'm going to say the boats to Springs because I love, love, love that boat ride. It is just so, I think at the end of the night, it's dark, and when on a cool night, I mean, the weather really does change everything in a trip. So if it's a cool night, last time we went, before COVID, because that's the last time the boats were running for us being there. We took it was like 67 degrees, and my son stood with the captain, and he let him steer the boat or talk to him, whatever it was. It was the cutest thing in the world, and we really enjoyed it. And just watching, looking at everything going by, it ended the night and made you just so relaxed for us. So I really enjoyed that. They're small little boats. They don't fit a ton of people, but they never ever seem full when we're on them. So, which is good. Maybe we go at different times, but I really do enjoy the boats. I think it's a great thing they have, and I hope it always stays there.
Yeah.
Sandy?
So,
Sandy. Come on, you love my resort.
I do actually. I do.
Come on, you love my resort.
Okay, so fix it up. Fix it up. Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. Like having an extra bridge there, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Like that would be perfect, honestly. That's all they would need to do to improve it.
I agree.
But then again, how long did it take them to build a bridge for the Grand? So,
Ouch.
1971.
Logistics.
Yeah, exactly. You know, around that lake, it's not easy. So that's what I would do for there. Tear it down. I have to agree with you guys on like the bus system, except there's one caveat. I know we're all saying, you know, they need to have better busing, but the resorts, Old Key West and Saratoga Springs, were made for people to have their cars with them.
Hmm.
So that kind of explains why they don't have the best busing, because they're expecting people to be taking their cars to and from the parks and to and from the springs and to and from everywhere at those.
They
particular
guessed
resorts.
wrong.
Yeah,
answer.
exactly. So yeah, I could use some improvement, that's for sure. And then talk it up. I love the boat. I love it. There's something about the
I
boat
love
that's
it.
just so
Yes.
romantic, and it's
Yes.
just so slow. And
Yes. No rush.
you know, if you wanted to, you could take from Springs the one that goes up to like Port Orleans, get yourself some beignets if you wanted to. Like tons of things you
Yeah.
can do with that. Yeah. So that's my call on that. What about you, Marianne?
Well, so it is my favorite place to be. I mean, I really, really enjoy the vibe at Saratoga Springs. We all know that I'm a super fan. And my fix it up is the bus. If they just would put a few more buses on the route, it would at peak times, it would make a big difference. Now, unlike all of the rest of you, I do not have that big of an issue with the buses. We've always done the buses. I feel like the part of the buses that is actually the worst is when I'm at a park trying to go back to Saratoga. I will watch 1,800 Art of Animation
Same here.
buses pass me, and I'll wait 20 minutes, and that's when I get mad and tweet at Walt Disney World operations that I've been waiting for a bus, and I'm tired of waiting, and amazingly, a bus then comes. But I don't know how many times I've used Twitter to bring me a bus, but I have. And you know, I mean,
You should use
that
it
that
earlier-
to me
earlier.
that to me is annoying. But because the deluxe resorts have the worst bus transportation, and I don't understand, other than I guess I'm an undesirable whatever I am, whatever, you know, a person to coming to their parks. I don't know why I'm paying out the yin yang to be there. But I would fix up the buses. I would have more of them. And yes, Dave, I find those signs just annoying and the app just annoying. Please be a little more accurate. If they were a little bit more accurate and I could stay in my room a couple of minutes longer, because
That's
I
the
always
big
Or
thing.
grab a coffee
or
or
something.
grab some breakfast or
Right. If they were a
something you
little bit
recently went on.
more accurate, that would
Yep.
be helpful. But I'm just going to fix up the buses
Cool.
because, okay, Saratoga is a big resort. It is a really big resort. And I like to stay in the paddock.
Paddock.
And
me
I
too,
like to stay
100%.
in the first building on the paddock that you walk out to the carousel bus stop. I am not a paddock bus stop girl. I am a carousel bus stop because it's the second one. And then I'm almost always get a seat and I'm happy there. And then I'm happy we get the best of both worlds. We get the grandstand type bus service, but yet we have the paddock pool right there at our area.
Great pool.
So that's my thing about that. But if I'm staying there, walking all the way to the one walkway to Disney Springs, and then walking and being at that end of Disney Springs when everybody in my family wants to go to Chicken Guy over and around and in the back part of Disney Springs. Oh, please. Or the movie theater, because that is typically when we're going to Disney Springs, we're going for a movie. So it's a pain in the rear for my family to walk. So we don't walk. Besides the fact that I have maybe a little bit of a probably irrational fear that if I was coming back after drinking too many make me a mommy drinks, better mommy drinks,
You'll fall in the
that I
water.
would of course walk and then there'd be an alligator. And
Oh my
so
God.
I mean it's just a really silly irrational fear.
So you
But
think that you're gonna get eaten by an alligator?
I
That's the
do have a
irrational fear?
little bit. Y'all know I'm
They're
from
gonna
Omaha.
climb up 5 feet of a wall, get under the grass, and come get you.
Y'all know that I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. And I was in Disney World the same week that the Thomas family was there.
Oh.
it's
And
horrible.
so
Yeah.
we saw the helicopters. And then when we came home and
Mhm.
realized that that was a family that lived less than 4 miles from us,
Ah.
it was. I have an irrational fear about alligators now. I will totally
it.
own it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, boat ride, baby. I'm all about that boat ride.
So not
Agree.
surprised.
And before COVID, when it dropped you at the boathouse instead of all the way down at the one boat
And that's my
ramp you're
favorite
using
restaurant
right
in
now,
Springs. That's great. Yeah.
because of all the security and all the nonsense that you're going through, they have to go all the way down to the far
Yep.
end now,
Yep.
which is not as convenient, but you get maybe a 5-minute longer boat ride.
Mhm.
So I am all about those boats. I love the relaxing. I love the breeze. I love looking for the alligators in the water as we're going, all the things. It's just a lovely end of your evening to ride the boat back to the resort. And then it puts you right there at the Turf Club where you can get
Mhm.
some Saratoga chips with some buffalo chicken dip and hang out
Ooh.
and have a couple more make me a better mommy drinks and then head back to your room. So I love me a boat ride at Saratoga
Awesome.
Springs.
I wanted to
So,
throw something in there if you're finished
yes, sir.
about the buses. Everyone is quick to complain about things at Disney more than
Yes.
giving them graces. And I do want to say I love that they're there. I'm a South Florida person, so I'm always have my car in Disney. We always drive everywhere. But if you want to use the buses, they're there. And that's a
Mhm.
huge, huge expense for Disney. And it's there for everyone. You can get everywhere in
That's
Disney
true.
on those buses. And I give them, applaud for that, because there's going to be a day where you're going to have to buy a bus pass, or who knows what's going to happen at some
Don't give
point.
them ideas.
They're not listening to me, trust me. But
Trust
Isn't
me.
it
but-
like the second largest public transit system
It
in,
is.
in Florida?
yeah, it's
Like
incredible.
And
So
that's the thing. I don't think that, I mean, we all complain, especially if you stay at Saratoga or Old Key West or Animal Kingdom Lodge. We all complain about the buses and how horrible the buses are and the
It could
buses
be worse.
suck and all that. And I get it. They do. But I
yeah.
would rather not drive and navigate. The night Beth and I navigated ourselves back from Magic Kingdom to Saratoga Springs and ended up circling the Epcot parking lot twice at 2 a.m. And we weren't even drinking Make Me a Better Mommy drinks. We were with cheerleaders. So, I mean, it was like,
they drop you right at your resort. I mean, it's great.
Exactly.
and they drop you, if you get lucky enough to get the building you want, they drop you right there.
Yeah.
And bless
it's-
those cast members. The drivers
Yeah.
are so
Oh
great.
my
They're so
goodness. And you
sweet.
know what? You sometimes hear the best gossip from the cast members.
It's
You
true.
can't believe what those bus drivers tell you. But man, sometimes the stories, and then there are the occasional bus drivers that are just such a gem. We've had ones that turn off the Disney music and they sing the whole time they're
Oh
driving
my.
us.
Wow.
And there's just something special about that. Or they'll tell
Yeah.
jokes to all the kids and have the kids just laughing. And
They give out cards.
they
Sometimes.
do
Have you seen the cards?
transportation
The
cards.
transportation
Yep.
So let's see what our community has to say and see if I'm winning. Steve is talking up walking since it's such a nice stroll. Fix those buses and nix the boats. Steve,
Steve's got
I
time
still
out.
love you, Steve. I still love you. Sean, he's from upstate New York. The first time he stayed at Saratoga, he was all ready for a getaway from home, only to find myself at a resort that looked exactly like home.
There you go.
Hey, that's kind of cool. He did like the East Walk to Disney Springs, though. See, the walking isn't bad. Tommy says, fix up the buses, tear down the walk. Again, I walk too much.
Aw.
And And he would love to talk up the boats. I like that guy. I like Tommy.
Sounds like Team Marianne.
Does. Holly's going to fix up the bus. It has to stay to get us places. I agree.
Yes.
But there are so many stops, and I agree. That's why I think more buses. Talk it up those boats. It's such a relaxing boat ride to Disney Springs, and tear up the walkway. We don't spring for preferred, so it's just too long of a walk for their littles. I hear ya. Sean, if not staying close to Springs, though, it's too big a walk. Taking the bus is the only way. I hear ya. Judy says she's going to talk up the boats, fix up the buses with fewer stops per bus, and tear up the walkway to make an extra bridge.
Team Marianne.
There we go. There we
Right on
go.
my line.
Boat Mama.
Andrew says he's going to fix up the bus. We need more buses. I agree. Tear up the walking because it doesn't go to the parks, and walking is okay for Disney Springs, he guesses. And forget the boats, as it takes you to the walkway anyways. Yes, but it's still a lovely walk. And then the alligators don't eat you if you're on a boat, but they might if you're on that dark path. So I'm just saying. Holly says she agrees with me. Yay! About coming back from the park on a bus. We waited for over an hour with all of our littles to get back to our room. We ended up driving to the parks the rest of the trip. Yep. Oh my gosh, yes. Please open the other docks at Disney Springs. I agree. That's been a real pain. And the bus drivers work for Mears. They do. The interpark ones do. I don't know. I know a couple of cast members who drive Disney buses. I think the buses that are driven by Mears are the ones from the airport. And I do think that they have some that come in from Mears to pick up some of this slack during this time. But I do know a couple of cast members who actually are bus drivers. So,
and not on the list, but can't talk up enough minivans, people. So good.
Oh, I love the minivans.
The cast members are
Yes.
When they're there, that's the only thing we do if we Uber is the minivans. They're so awesome.
Judy, I grew up on a Kansas farm with copperheads and rattlesnakes and water moccasins all around. They don't scare me nearly as much. Those snakes don't scare me nearly as much as alligators do. But yes, every once in a while I am surprised by a snake and I do a little and then I go, get out of here, you little thing, because it usually is nothing that's too terribly scary. I have never seen one of those scary snakes that supposedly lives in the wilds of Florida. So, but anyway, I think, Gina, who won tonight? Who won? It's not really a competition. That's silly talk. It's not a competition at all.
I bet Marianne.
Actually, yes.
Boat Mama for the win.
Marianne did win the first round and the third round, but Nick, Dave, and Sandy all tied for the second round. So there you go.
Fantastic.
So everybody took a round.
So everybody
Yay.
wins. All right.
Good. That's cool.
Participation trophies for everybody tonight.
Marianne was sweet talking everybody with the
I
comments.
know.
So that really doesn't count.
Yes.
We're going to have to have her deleted.
So, yep. And I think, we have just a couple of minutes left. Tell me your lightning round, your favorite Disney transportation. Anywhere,
Easy.
anytime, any kind of favorite Disney transportation. Nick.
Oh, Skyliner. Done.
Okay.
I
So
love
you
it.
do Skyliners to all the
They
parks.
need to expand it. It's so great.
It would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. All right, Dave, your favorite kind of transportation.
Easy answer. I'll say Skyliner. And if I'm going to throw in number 2, it's going to be the minivans.
yeah.
Yeah. And Sandy, what's your favorite Disney transportation?
Apparently, I'm a bit of princess because I have to say the minivan.
Yeah, baby. Now, those drivers are top notch.
They are the best.
amazing, right?
They are
Like,
I think those are actual cast members.
Yeah, I think so.
So
They
they
are.
have
Awesome.
to like they're
Yeah.
They are.
handpicked for that position.
They sing to
actually.
us. They do all kinds of things.
They know everything about Disney
Yep.
history and the resort.
All the gossip. They have
and,
more
like,
gossip than the bus drivers.
And
incredible.
they get so close to the
incredible.
park too.
Yeah.
It's worth
Yeah,
it when you get
it's
to it.
awesome.
What about
Yeah.
you, Marianne?
I think for expedience, yes, a minivan, but I'm a cheap girl, right? I don't fork out money for minivans very often. Actually, I've never have. So one of these days we will, just for kicks and giggles. But I think my favorite kind of transportation throughout all of Disneyland is the boats. I love the relaxing ride and the fresh air and just the whole that feels like a vacation when you're on a boat. It just does. It just kind of
Slows you down.
it slows you down. It helps you get into
It's a
that
great option.
mood.
I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
do that.
Every place that has a boat, I almost always want to take it. We don't even walk from like Boardwalk to the International Gateway. We go ahead and wait for the boat because it's just so nice to ride that boat over back and forth. And that line never gets that long because most people are choosing to walk that one. And I just there's something sweet about that boat ride. So let's see what everybody else is saying. Judy's with me. It's all about the boats. Andrew's minivans.
Mhm.
Steve is the Skyliner. Andrew likes the boats from Disney Springs to Old Key West. Yes,
Yeah.
that was a lovely boat ride. Boat from Wilderness Lodge at sunrise to Rope Drop
Oh,
Magic Kingdom.
That's really pretty.
Good answer, Holly.
That's very
Sunset too.
Sunset too. Yeah, it's just really fun and relaxing. Sean says the Skyliner is the most fun and the boats are the most relaxing and the buses are actually the most reliable. You know, a
Mm.
bus will always come.
Hmm.
It
At
will
some
always
point.
come. It will.
Even if it's not the fourth or fifth or sixth one.
Yeah. And the Lyft minivan option is the quickest. Yep. I think you've nailed it, Sean. I think you've nailed it. So, well, thank you, community, for joining us tonight. It sure was fun talking up transportation and playing my favorite game. And thank you, Nick and Dave and Sandy, for joining me to play tonight.
Thanks for
It sure
having
was
me.
fun.
It's so fun.
having
Good
us.
to
Having
see
us.
everybody.
And we will see everybody next week. Is it next week Throwdown? Is it
Oh
next
yeah,
week?
East Coast, West Coast. We're coming
It's
for
the
you.
East Coast, West Coast Throwdown. Marianne's not going to be here, but because I don't have an opinion about this one. But I believe Sandy is your host next week for the East
Oh,
Coast, West Coast
awesome.
Throwdown. Which is better, world or land? We know what the powers that be think because land's getting all the goodies, but I think it'll be a fun show next week. I hope you all tune in. Tell your friends and neighbors to tune in too and learn a little bit more about Disneyland and Disney World from our My DVC Points experts. Thanks so much for joining us and have a great evening. We'll
Night,
see you
everyone.
later.
Take care,
Bye-bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night.
See you
Good
guys
weekend.
again.